All right, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Wednesday, June 28th, 2023. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts and analysis. Anyways, let's get into it today. So, markets here. Kind of much ado about nothing. So a little gap down, pretty good thrust higher, and then pretty sharp sell-off. And then right back to that 435 area where we're just kind of been pinned here. So spiders, fractionally lower Qs are flattish. Dow down move, tried to break the high of the day during lunch hour. Then right back down, pinned right to 338. Believe it or not, the big winner of the day is the Russell, still only up about 35, 40 basis points. So nothing really to write home about, just an inside day. Powell spoke this morning. In Europe, central bankers had a conference, Western central banks, and he really just kind of reiterated what he's been saying for a while. 2 more rate hikes. They asked him why he paused, if he's going to hike again, and he kind of danced around that. You guys know my thoughts on that. They have to do the TGA refill, and he's not trying to give the government a bad price. It's pretty simple. He can't really say that, but it does seem to be the case there. Outside of that, we did get a little bit of volatility, to be fair, but I was just telling my members, if you've got like yard work to do the next 2 days, this might be a good time. If you can get out, go to the beach, do something. Now that conference is out of the way, you take a look at the volume here, 54 million shares. It's going to be lighter tomorrow, and it's going to be absolutely dead on Friday, except for maybe the final hour. You might get some rebalancing. There will be rebalancing in the final hour of Friday. So there might be a spike towards the end of the close, last 15, 20 minutes. But outside of that, this is not a market to be aggressively trading. So that's why you want to take time off. Myself, I'm just scalping the open, really. I'd maybe get an intraday play in 1 or 2 plays, but not looking to aggressively day trade here. And swings too, same thing. We're going into end of quarter. There's going to be rebalancing. We're in the summer doldrums now. We're going into a holiday weekend. So this is not a time to be aggressive. It's time to, relax. So in any case, right now, nothing's changed really. So we went into the 20 MA. We hit it, we bounced, we tried to push up, and now basically an inside day. I thought it would be a little too easy for us to pull back into this 20 moving average and then get a bid, which is what it tried to do this morning, just because I feel like everybody and their mother was trying to buy the first high or low they get their hands on. We know the FOMO out there, especially in the triple Qs and some of these big higher flyers. Look at Tesla today, up another 2%. That actually got a decent bid off the 20 moving average. But general market, though, we had that kind of morning rally as Powell was being hawkish again, and then we came in pretty sharply. That to me just says that, hey, like, there's too many people trying to get a free bid, just get carried into the holiday weekend off of that 20 moving average, and they are pushing it back. So we'll see what we get tomorrow. Overall, just an inside day. Nothing has really changed here. Technically, still, we talked about that. Let's go back over the SPX. If I can draw this in, there we go. This is, this head and shoulder is still technically in play. Like, it's technically not really broken. It's taking a long time to play out. You'd really need it to play out by the end of the week, because this 4 hour here is not terrible here. So nice green bar, 1, 2, 3 pullback. You'd really need to see the bears kind of come in tomorrow if they're going to do something. But again, with the light volume, like I said, it makes it kind of difficult for the market to sustain any sell-off. At the same time, as you can see, it doesn't take much capital for them to whack it down if they want to take it off the highs. So again, tough market to trade when there is very light volume. So just keep that in mind here. But again, inside day, right now, 4,400 is still going to be kind of short-term resistance, psychological level. We got that gap fill right there, and we'll watch. If they put in a lower high, then we'll go from there. And then if you take out the low, then you can go to 4,280. So it's really that simple, and that's all we got to all we have to do right now. Triple Qs, same thing again. So 365, that's been resistance the last couple of days. If we could kind of go back to an intraday, 1, 2, 3 hits. Today we broke through it, and we came back below. So again, it hasn't been able to close above that level. It's not the end of the world. It's not broken here. We're basically flat on the day. And again, same setup here, 365, 366. Close above that, can take you back up to this 368, 370 area. But again, you put in a lower high, then we'll watch this pivot here. If you take that out, then you've got, a lower high. So really that simple. And that's really all it needs to be right now. My guess is by, I would say next week is going to be where we actually get movement, just because it's end of quarter coming up and there's nobody really trading this right now. I can tell you that for a fact. And it's going to get even worse tomorrow and Friday, so just be aware of that. Russell, anyway, held that trend line we talked about there, so that's that's doing fine right now. 185, 186 is still your daily chart level. Dow inside day, nothing terrible. If that builds a more continuous inside here, it can push back up to that gap fill. But right now, just a little red day there on the DIA, and that was on the weaker side. Semiconductors. So we had some news here. China kind of squabbling a bit with NVIDIA. Semi's down 1% on the day. NVIDIA did gap down. It came off the lows, and then it rallied basically all the way back up to the flat line, and then took a pretty good hit. And it's basically, it's down about 1.8% right now, so nothing terrible here. So it did come off the worst. Some of the other semis, though, AMD definitely, this was a market leader, starting to look a little soft here. So if we look at, take those lines away, you had a pretty big island kind of set up here. We broke through that, and now we can make a case this is starting to daily bear flag. So some of these semiconductors are a little bit weaker than others, but either way, semis inside day here and down 1%. If you take out this pivot, then you can go down to 144, but right now it's still holding up. IGV is fractionally higher here as well, so again, getting a small bit off the 20 moving average. Nothing's really changed there. Still has resistance at that big pivot high, and there is still a lot of resistance up there, so it's going to need to do more, like a lot of consolidation to get through that. All right, Dow Transport's inside day after the big move yesterday. Oh no, that's actually gotten a little bit of a bid. Okay, so that got a little bit of a bid more, so I take that back. So that's up to 15. Yeah, we're at 15.4 now, so we'll say probably up to, let's give it to like 15.450, 15.5 right now, since we got through that first target, and we had pretty good volume on that too. So generally, it's a good indicator that you're gonna be able to push up. We've been saying 15.2 for a while, and it got through that yesterday on the weekly. It's going to take a monstrous move to get this back below there. I don't think that's going to happen with the light volume, and actually with the heavy volume in DJT. So DJT holding up okay. And that's acting well. So look to 15.450, 15.5 possibly tomorrow. All right, over to bonds. So 2-year inside day, nothing going on here. It did come off the lows this morning. And I should say I'm looking at the ZT. But basically an inside day here. It's still setting up for a move to 5%. The big move here, or the big thing with yields right now, and this goes for the whole market, if this breaks out and breaks above 5% before the next Fed meeting, not only are they going to hike, but they're going to be much more hawkish. Just be aware of that. But right now, it's in an inside pattern, and it is setting up for a move to that 5%. Take a look at the weekly. We went up into this red bar, and you're just building kind of a flag there. So trend is up here on yields. Just be aware of that. There's the 5, 10, nice strong uptrend, inside bar on the weekly. 30-year, same thing. Okay, so just be aware of that with yields, but really just an inside day here, and I'm not going to make too much out of it again with when the volume is this light. XHB, that made a new high, though it did come back in. ITB, same thing, so new all-time high, but came back in. Again, just an inside day, no problems there. It's a little overbought and extended, but there's nothing to say this can't go higher at this current time. VNQ, inside day as well, that's still holding up. It's not great, but it's holding up. XLF down 33 basis points. Financials are starting to look a little on the weaker side. We've noted that, but even the big banks here, JP Morgan, little micro kind of bear flag inside pattern there. Goldman Sachs, that had a pretty good breakdown over the last week or two. Citigroup on the softer side. Wells Fargo, probably one of the stronger ones there. Still has that kind of daily bear flag look. So again, with the XLF, still a very, very weak sector. Weekly bearish consolidation here until proven otherwise. But right now, just an inside day there. Broker dealers holding those moving averages. That's okay. KRE down 0.5%. I don't like that. That's bear flagging on the daily. KBE, I don't like that. That's bear flagging on the daily. So FINS, still a weak sector. And right now, it doesn't matter because the Qs are just carrying the market. But this is one of the things, the KRE back in December, I talked about this before anybody was talking about it. I said, guys, the regional banks are a huge problem right now. This is not going to be good for the market in the future. You need them to shape up here if this market's going to really sustain a rally and, essentially go to new highs. So just be aware of that. Over to commodities here. So crude, we had a lot of rollovers yesterday. But crude really just the inside day here. If it loses that white trend line, it's down to 64. If it loses that, it's down to 60. And then 50 XLE. Nice outside day up. So good move there, up 1%. Reclaiming the 20 moving average, but I still don't like the weekly setup on that one yet. XOP, same thing. Nice day though. And then OIH also holding up better. Still needs to get above 280 on a weekly close. Nat gas, that retraced a little bit here, so down 4.5%. That did roll over as well. So again, lots of contracts. I think that's about to, it is roll. It just hasn't shown it yet, but that did roll over here. I believe it's on the U contract now, but either way, nat gas pulling back in. Dollar index, this is kind of ironic, right? So dollar index up nicely, really all day long, up 46 basis points, and it had a nice pop as Powell was speaking and being more hawkish. And then, the market, that's when the market started rallying. You just can't make this up. But either way, dollar green coming off the highs. Here's the thing I don't like about the dollar. So I'm still not bullish on this at all. You lost that green bar on the weekly, failure, close below that. And now not only are you bear flagging on the weekly, bearish inside bar, you got a bearish inside bar here on the daily until proven otherwise. So still pretty bearish on the dollar until it negates that. If it negates that, then it can turn bullish again. But right now, it's definitely on the softer side. I don't like it. Gold here, that finally got down to this little trend line here. I still think it wants 1900. Nothing has really changed there, but it might be due for a bounce here. And the near term silver green, again, that also rolled over, so that's why it says it's red there. Contract rollover there, so down 80 basis points, but it's actually had a gap up. Either way, still can get to 2350 here in the near term. That's really all I'll do with it right now. Platinum still trying to defend 920, and that green bar there, nothing terrible. That can get up to 960 here, but I'm not in love with the pattern currently. And then palladium, pretty good dump there all the way down to 1200, but a good bounce off the lows. I'm watching this one interestingly. You got a nice volume there too, so we'll watch how that one starts to shape up here. It could still go lower though, but right now we'll have to watch for pattern. It had a nice volume surge there when it came off the lows today. And then copper, that backed off where to 370, of course. So we'll see how it reacts there. Might need to flag a little bit in order to get through that. All right, lastly over to Bitcoin here. So nothing really going on. Inside day, looking back on the weekly there, no problems. That can still get to 32.5. Some of these Bitcoin equities are also holding up well. Marathon, Riot, we talked about that. MSTR, those have good weekly patterns too. I think if that 20 moving average starts to catch up to Bitcoin, you can get up to 32.5, no problem. So nothing has really changed on that front. All right, again, lastly, market's closing just about 2 minutes here. Nothing's going on. Again, tomorrow, the volume will be very light, and it's going to be even lighter on Friday, so just be aware of that. Again, keep it simple. We take this out, it's a lower high confirmed, and then you look down to 428 and possibly lower. If we get back above this kind of trend line here, and again, that goes back to, all the way back here, then maybe you can make a run at, the double top area. But that's really it for right now. Again, like I said, if you got hard work to do, now's the time to do it. Enjoy some time off and take it easy here. Anyways, guys, gonna wrap up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. Talk to you all tomorrow.